Los Angeles Chargers versus New Orleans Saints. I love what Herbert's doing. He really impressed me against a tough Tampa Bay team. I think Herbert is a start against New Orleans. New Orleans isn't as good defensively as Tampa Bay is, but of course this is the week where they show up and shut the Chargers out. Assuming Herbert is still the starter, I know Tyrod Taylor is always looming out there, but come on guys, you can't go back to Tyrod Taylor. You're seeing it. Herbert's the real deal. I really like him. Here, the basic injury is I thought it was ridiculous with the tag on the bottom. Everybody's watching the game. Eckler goes out with a hamstring, questionable to return. Then you see him being carried off the field. Everybody, the news hasn't dropped yet. This is a 6-week injury, everybody. He's going to be on the IR.
Hopefully four.
We'll see, man. You might have more recent news than I did. I didn't see anything come out.
I don't have any news.
Dude, I'm worried I'm always worried based on what I saw just in him being carried off. I'm worried that's a hamstring tear. That could be a season. I mean, I am really, really worried. But let me say this. We've been saying this all along. This system supports 2 running backs. We've also been saying this all along. Justin Jackson, the forgotten guy, because everybody's paying attention to Joshua Kelly. I'm not sure that Joshua Jackson, I believe he was in the Mighty Ducks movie in Dawson's Creek. Josh Jackson, I'm not sure that he's not better than Kelly. And what I'm saying is I think he's a better running back. And am I saying Josh? Is it Justin Jackson?
Justin Jackson.
My bad, Joshua Jackson.
Josh Jackson.
Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson.
Small forward.
It's too many J's. Too many J's in that backfield for me. But Justin Jackson, I really think could be the better of the running back here. Obviously, he should be at the top of everybody's, or at least near the top of everybody's waiver wire claims. Austin Eckler, he's going to be an IR player. He's going to be an injured list player, everybody. That's a nasty hamstring. Hamstrings are bad when it's a strain. When it was as bad as like, hey, let me cart off a guy because he's got a hamstring pull. Gosh, man. Ugh. It breaks my heart because I got Austin Eckler really good value, so he's going on my injury list. I'll try to get Jackson, though. I think he has value. Keenan Allen will have value this week. I think Hunter Henry will get in the end zone. Golly. That one ticked me off because I had Hunter Henry projected in the top 10 tight ends, and then the secondary tight end got the touchdown last week. That's always a gut punch when that happens. For New Orleans, look, Chargers tough defense, but I think Breeze is a start. I think Kamara is a start. I think Latavius Murray is a freaking start. Talk about guys breaking my heart. Latavius Murray getting 2 touchdowns. He's gotten over 13 carries, I think, or over 12 carries 3 out of the first 4 weeks. New Orleans is going to 2 back, and they're using Alvin Kamara as a running back. Even when Michael Thomas was in the game, Latavius Murray was involved, so pay attention to that. Michael Thomas, if he comes back, he's a slam dunk start. If he doesn't, I like both Emmanuel Sanders and Traquan Smith. If Thomas does come back, I like Traquan Smith more than I like Emmanuel Sanders. I've been saying that for a couple weeks, and I am not moving off of that point. Jared Cook, if he plays, you could start him, I guess. I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. Anyway, take it away, David.
Well, me and you were both Justin Jackson believers this offseason, and unfortunately had the injuries. Josh Kelly stepped up in the first few weeks, and it looks like a clear miss by us. Josh Kelly, I think, is still clearly the number 2 guy behind Austin Eckler, but I do have good news. Justin Jackson averaged more yards per carry this past week than Joshua Kelly when Austin Eckler went out. You want to know the bad news? You want to know the bad news?
Please.
He only averaged 1.5 yards per carry to Josh Kelly's 0.8 yards per carry.
I'm going to say this, and we made this point coming into the season. Joshua Kelly, that was always a risk, and we acknowledged that. But we've seen Justin Jackson produce in the NFL and be impressive while Melvin Gordon was out or Eckler was out or whatever. Joshua Kelly, in his opportunity, yes, he kind of sees that secondary role, but he hasn't really impressed me on the field. And I have been impressed in the past with Justin Jackson on the field. So, look, both running backs are going to get snap shared. They'll get opportunities and everything. I just think Jackson, while Eckler's out, I'm going to double down on that prediction. I think Jackson will be the better running back in the system while Eckler is gone. But,
And that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Just because, I brought up the yards per carry. Jackson had 6 carries for 9 yards. Kelly had 9 carries for 7 yards this past week when Eckler went out. This was against Tampa Bay, who's notorious for shutting down the run game. Yep. Absolutely notorious for it. So you're not just writing off Justin Jackson and Josh Kelly because they had a bad game against them. And what it does say, Justin Jackson did get involved as a receiver, 2 receptions, 12 yards. Kelly had 3 for 26. But both of these guys are going to soak up some of those Austin Eckler targets. Justin Jackson, I do believe, like you said, he will have value as long as Austin Eckler is out. You will be able to use him in a pinch if you need to put him into your RB2 spot.
And I think what will happen is Kelly will kind of get more of the workload to start. But what I predict will happen is that Jackson will be more efficient with his, and over time it will turn over. And so both will have roles. it will start with Kelly being the primary guy, but I believe that in the next 2 weeks it will end up being Jackson as the primary guy. We'll see what happens. But either way, you got to pick the guy up because they're both going to have value no matter what happens.
And you are right about Kelly. As much as we've kind of gotten excited in the fantasy community, it's been volume based. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been efficiency based. He hasn't been an efficient runner. It's just been that they've been giving him the ball so many times. Mm-hmm. So Justin Jackson definitely has an opportunity to make some plays and earn a bigger role and earn more of those Josh Kelly touches. One more thing about the Chargers. I don't have a ton to say about them. Justin Herbert, I've been just pounding the table for this guy since he took over. Not just in Superflex and 2 QB leagues, guys. 1 QB leagues, this guy needs to be rostered and started in the right matchup. He was their leading rusher this past week against Tampa Bay. 5 for 14 yards, nothing spectacular. But guys, he runs the ball. That's 5 attempts. They're using zone read options, play calls. They're calling designed plays to utilize his athleticism as a runner. Look at his combine. He's athletic. He had like a 4.6 something 40. He had a decent shuttle, a good vertical. So he's definitely athletic. They're willing to use him as a runner. He's willing to put his body on the line towards the goal line, which is what's most impressive to me. And then as a passer, guys, 20 of 25 this past week, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. He's already there. He's already there as a passer. This offense has weapons across the board. Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. Talk about if Eckler comes back. Even Jalen Guyton's making plays for the guy. It's like the offense is too good for Herbert to not be good.
Yeah, I agree. And remember, he played well against Kansas City with no snaps during the week, finding out he's a starter 5 minutes before the game, and played well against Tampa Bay. 2 really good defenses. Had Carolina played well against Carolina as well. But, he's legit, guys. He's legit. He's a top 5 pick for a reason, everyone.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about the Saints. The one thing I'll say is it looks like Traquan Smith is the Michael Thomas plug-and-play, not Emmanuel Sanders. And who knows, guys? Don't just discount Traquan Smith because Michael Thomas is coming back. If you can add him at the end of your roster, let's see. Maybe he does beat out Emmanuel Sanders for the number 2 job.
I think he's better than Sanders. Again, the eye test, everything I'm seeing is it's like we were talking earlier, another ex-UCF wide receiver, in Gabriel in Buffalo is you can see guys and they're good. Traquan Smith hasn't strung it together. I think this might be his 4th year. Hasn't really wowed anybody.
I want to say third.
But either way, Emmanuel Sanders, you thought coming in here that definitely he'd be plugged in there, and he's producing stats and everything. But just Traquan Smith looks better this year. So I think he has a chance to be a factor opposite Michael Thomas, when Michael Thomas comes back. So we'll see. Let me hit you with the line here. It's the Chargers plus 7.5 versus the Saints. Who do you got?
I got the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers are a good team. I think they are. Defensively, they took a step back against Tampa Bay, but I still think they're a top defense. In the offense, we'll see how much the Austin Eckler loss hurts them, but I'm going to take the Chargers here.
Yeah, I have the Saints winning this game by 4, 7.5, especially that extra half point. Most of the games are decided in the NFL 7 or less. I'll take the Chargers. I like their defense, and Herbert is really impressing me. Now, I will say this: if somehow Tyrod Taylor comes back and they give him the starting job back, I'm firmly on New Orleans. But hey, man, it's out in the press. I think it's crazy, and so do you. But
it's got to be some sort of Jedi mind trick. Anthony Lynn is pulling. There's no way.
There's no way. It's crazy to do that. Tyrod Taylor will sue the Chargers for getting his lung punctured and losing his starting job, and that's what'll end up happening. But I'm telling you, that is the reason.
That's the only reason Lynn's saying Tyrod's the starter, so they're not liable.
Yeah, the only reason Tyrod Taylor gets a start at this point is Justin Herbert gets hurt or the Chargers don't want to get sued. Seriously, you've seen everything you need to see. Tyrod Taylor loses his job to another rookie quarterback. But Herbert's the real deal, man. You got to be excited if you're a Chargers fan. It's fun to watch, fun to see them do what they're doing. So I was selling hard on the Chargers, assuming Tyrod Taylor was going to get more starts. But as soon as I saw Herbert, I'm just like, yep, this team's legit. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they're good, man. They got talent. Anyway, that wraps it up for an episode. We said we were going to get it under 2 hours, and we did just by about 30 seconds. My gosh, man, I can't wait for the bye weeks. I never thought I'd say that. We need the bye weeks here, man. But hey, another great episode. Dave, you got anything else for the crowd before we head out?
No, guys, just I'm not even going to plug the site this week. Just stay safe out there. We're almost through this coronavirus. Try and keep the protocols up. I know I'm preaching to myself as much as anything here. We're close, guys. We're almost there.
Light at the tunnel.
Almost there.
Yeah, almost there. Hey, everybody, be safe. Go out, make some bets, get paid.